हेलो
See waiting room.
7 people have entered the waiting room. वांधो नहीं.
No, 1920 into 1080.
12
हेलो हेलो नितिन सर.
यस सर.
हाँ अरेंज करूँ છું જોઈ લેજો. હા
હા.
काय कधी बोला केलं
रियल शो करा.
स्टार्ट माय व्हिडिओ. બરાબર છે રીતેન સર?
બરાબર છે સર.
ક્લીન વંચાય છે?
હા હા વંચાય છે.
ઓકે. કેટલા એડમિટ થયા?
58
ઓકે, સ્ટાર્ટ કરીએ કે વાર છે?
कर दिए सर.
Now, in continuation, some still topics are left, so we'll continue that. First is enantiomers. Now, what are enantiomers? The stereoisomers that are not superimposable on their mirror image. The stereoisomers that are not superimposable on their mirror image are called enantiomers. Now see, yesterday we have taken an example of lactic acid and I have drawn dextro and levo, right? So that dextro and levo, they are called stereoisomers, and that stereoisomers which are not superimposable on their mirror image, they are called enantiomers, right? Now, important point is enantiomers have same physical properties. The enantiomers means that stereoisomers, one may be dextro, another may be levo, they have same physical properties such as melting point, boiling point, refractive index. These enantiomers, that is called stereoisomers, they have same physical properties such as melting point, boiling point, refractive index. Clear? Then they differs in what? They differs in optical rotation. They differs in optical rotation only. What is meaning of they differs only in optical rotation? Optical rotation means one stereoisomer may rotate the plane polarized light in clockwise and another may rotate the plane polarized light in anti-clockwise, right? It differs only in optical rotation. That is, one will be dextro and another will be levorotatory. So this is important. So what are enantiomers? The stereoisomers that are not superimposable on their mirror image. They are called enantiomers. I can take an example. For example, lactic acid, or the IUPAC name is 2-hydroxy propanoic acid. The example can be like this. You can take COOH, right? Or you can draw it like this. COOH, OH, CH3, and H. If this is dextro, yesterday I told you how to decide whether the compounds are optical isomers or possess optical activity with the help of one instrument called polarimeter that can be asked in MCQ. So remember that, right? And if I take the mirror image, the mirror image will be like this. OH will come on this side and remaining portion will go on that side. You can have this type of bond also, solid wedge bond. Clear? So this was about enantiomers. The stereoisomers, these two are called stereoisomers. Stereoisomers means what? The compound which can rotate the plane polarized light. One may rotate the plane polarized light in clock, then it is called dextro, or the symbol is plus. And another may be levo, symbol is L or minus. So these two are said to be stereoisomers. And these two stereoisomers, they are not superimposable. See, if I try to put this, is it same? No. Here COH is coming and here OH is coming, see? Right? So these two, they are stereoisomers but not superimposable on their mirror image. And that's why these two are called enantiomers. Clear? They have same physical properties such as melting point, boiling point, refractive index, but they differ in optical rotation. This may rotate the plane polarized light in clock and this may rotate the plane polarized light in anti-clock. That's why they differ only in the optical rotation. Such compounds are called, such stereoisomers are called enantiomers.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now the second one is racemic mixture. Or it is also said to be racemic modification. It is also said to be racemic modification. Now what is racemic mixture or racemic modification? A mixture of two enantiomers in equal proportion. A mixture of two enantiomers. Right now we have taken dextro and levo. So there are two enantiomers in equal proportion is called racemic mixture, right, which have zero optical rotation. Now, why I have mentioned this zero optical rotation? Because we know that the two enantiomers, one may be dextro, which can rotate the plane polarized light in clock. Another may be levo, which may rotate the plane polarized light in anti-clock. And here we are taking the equal proportion of dextro and levo. But once you mix it, then they have zero optical rotation. Why? Because the rotation of clockwise dextro will be cancelled out by the equal proportion of levo. And that's why it is optical rotation of racemic mixture is zero, and it is optically inactive. This is important point. You are mixing two optical active compound. Dextro is optically active, levo is optically active. But after mixing, the rotation becomes zero and they becomes optically inactive. What is the symbol? Symbolized by is. Now it is, as it is a mixture of dextro and levo, it is written as DL. Or you can write plus is dextro, minus is levo. So this is a symbol of optical rotation. Clear? Now you can take an example, right? For example, plus or minus, you can combine butane 2-ol. But this plus and minus butane 2-ol should be in equal proportion. Should be in equal proportion. So that is an example. Clear? Now, third is racemization. Now, what is racemization? The word itself indicates it is a process. The process of conversion of enantiomers into racemic mixture. The process of conversion of enantiomers into racemic mixture is called racemization. So this you have to remember. What is the definition of racemization? The process of conversion of enantiomers into racemic mixture is called racemization. Clear? Okay.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now, the fourth one is retention. Now, what is meaning of word retention? Retention means to keep it intact as it is. Do not disturb, right? So retention, it is the preservation of. It is the preservation of the spatial arrangement. Right? It is the preservation of spatial arrangement of bond. Now, where the bond can be around symmetric or asymmetric carbon, so it is the preservation of spatial arrangement of bond along asymmetric carbon, or you can say asymmetric center during a chemical reaction. See, I told you to keep it as it is. So you have to prevent. So the preservation of the spatial arrangement of a bond along asymmetric carbon during a chemical reaction. Then that chemical reaction will proceed through retention. Here, no bond is broken at the stereo center. No bond is broken at stereo center. Stereo center means at asymmetric carbon or chiral carbon. No bond is broken. And we'll have the same, and the product obtained will have the same configuration as that of reactant. The product will have same configuration as that of the reactant. So this is important. No bond is broken at the stereo center. And during a chemical reaction, you will get a product, and the product obtained will have same configuration as that of the reactant. Let me take an example to explain you this. For example, I will take an example of methyl butanol, right? 2-methyl butanol. I can draw the structure. CH3, butanol means 4 carbon. C, here there will be one CH3, right? Here it will be H. You can take this type of bond, solid phase bond. Then 2-methyl, again 1 carbon more, again 1 carbon. So this will be CH2, this will be CH3, right? Now I want to write 2-methyl 1-butanol. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbon. So it is 2-methyl. See, methyl is at second carbon. So 2-methyl 4 carbon butane, and all OH group is at first carbon. So butane 1 all, right? But this is minus. Now you know what does minus means? Minus means the rotation of this compound is in anti-clockwise, means LIGO. Clear? So this, if you carry out the reaction, suppose I want to carry out the reaction with hydrochloric acid, then what will happen? I will heat it, and on heating, the bond breaks, this bond, right? And here the bond is broken. Clear? So now you will get the compound, this type. Plus, what will be your product? HOH. So these two will combine and form a water molecule. Now, you might be thinking, sir, you have written no bond is broken. Here the bond is broken. No, actually the bond is not broken. No bond is broken at the stereo center. This is your stereo center. This carbon is your stereo center. I will show you with a red symbol. So this carbon is stereo center. So here the bond is not broken. Is this clear? So it is retained. That's why this phenomena is called retention. So this chemical reaction takes place through retention. And you can see your product, right? Now what is difference? There should be some difference in the product and all these things. We know these two compounds are different, but this is minus, this will be plus. 2-methyl, right? This is 2-methyl, but here we have substituted chlorine, and chlorine, you know, alphabetically order when we write it, chlorine will come first. So I can write here plus 1 chloro, 2 methyl. Methyl can be written as Me also, butane. Clear now? So these are the two compounds during a chemical reaction. You can see here, during a chemical reaction, no bond is broken at the stereo center. Here the bond is not broken. Bond is broken over here. And they have same configuration. See, OH was on right side, Cl is also on right side. So their configuration is same. Right? So they have same configuration as that of the reactant. Then what is different during retention? We know one thing is different during retention, and that is nothing but optical rotation. See, this is LEVO, this is dextro. This will rotate in clock, this will rotate in anti-clock. So this is important. During retention, configuration is same that we have written. Optical rotation changes. Optical rotation changes. So this you have to remember as an important point for retention. Now,
Done, sir.
okay. Next topic. Remember this point. During retention, optical rotation changes. Means sign. One is dextro, another is, sorry, this is dextro, then this will be LEVO, rotatory. Now, the next topic is inversion, retention, and racemization. We have studied racemization. Right now, we have studied retention, right? And earlier in SN2 mechanism, we have studied inversion. Inversion means invert product is obtained. So, with the help of suitable example, we have to explain what is retention, inversion, and I told you three things: retention, inversion, and racemization. That is called where the racemic mixture is obtained. So next topic is retention, inversion, and racemization. To understand this, these three outcomes, you have to take asymmetric carbon, right? I'll take one compound. I'll take that compound in the middle. CH2CH3. This is ethyl, right? Here I will take methyl. Here I will take H. Yeah, you can take another halogen. And here you can take H. Now, this compound, in this compound, X will be replaced by Y. So as I have to explain you these 3 points, I have to take 3 possibilities, right? Let me take one by one all the 3 possibilities. If I want to replace this X by Y, I am going to replace this X by Y. Then what will be the configuration I am getting? I will get this type of compound. See, I'm getting this. Clear? So I can label this compound as A. This is a product. I'll write B product. Now, again, I want to substitute X by Y, right? But if I substitute X by Y and I get the product like this, ethyl is as it is, right? Then this CH3 I'm getting on right side, I'm getting here left side. This time your Y, X will be replaced by Y on this side. And here it will be your H. Now look to this product. Actually your X was here, but Y has not entered here. It has entered from opposite side. So this is called inverted product. I have got this Y. Right? But this is B. So this is called inversion. Right? Why inversion? Because your group which was going to be substituted by Y, both are on opposite side. They are inverted product. Right? This is called retention because it is maintained as it is. So this is called retention. And I told you one important point. In retention, see, if only a product is obtained, remember one thing, if only a product is obtained during this mechanism, then that mechanism is taking place through retention, and in retention, optical rotation changes. Optical rotation changes means if this is minus, then it will be converted to plus. Just for your understanding, I have written. See, theoretically, I will not write it here. Remember one thing again, during this chemical reaction, see, the configuration is as it is. So configuration is not changed, right? No bond is broken at the stereo center. Here the bond is not broken, right? So remember one thing, this is called retention. If only a product is obtained. And during retention, you know, optical rotation changes. In the earlier example we have taken. If only B product is obtained, then inversion takes place. And due to inversion, you know, inverted product is obtained, right? Inverted product is obtained. So here no need to write it. I'll write it later on if any point is needed. Now what will happen? During this process, if I want to substitute Y, and if I am getting A plus B, and you know, this product A, this product B, you are getting equal proportion and mixture, then it is called racemic mixture. And the process is called racemization. And you all know during racemization, the compounds become optically inactive. Optically inactive. Right? Because optical rotation becomes zero. Earlier we have discussed in this theory. So this is the most important configuration. You have to remember this. If only A is the product, the process is called retention. And note that configuration has been rotated. Means there is optical rotation change. If only B is obtained, then you know what will happen. If only B is obtained, then the product is inverted, means the process is inversion, right? So this you have to remember, the product is inversion. And if you are getting a mixture, then it is called racemic mixture. And the optical rotation becomes zero. So that is the most important point you have to remember. So here the configuration is inverted, here the configuration remains same. Here you are getting a mixture, so optically it becomes inactive. So these 3 points are important. If you want to write one more point here, you can write configuration is changed. See, this was on left side, this is on right side. Configuration is changed. Here configuration is same. But important point you have to remember, there is a change in rotation and here optically inactive. So this is an important point. Hello. Hello.
સર 2 મિનિટ પુઅર કનેક્શન આવે છે એટલે હું વેટ કરું છું.
હા જોઈ લો 2 મિનિટ વેટ. હા એટલે બોલજો રીતન સર.
હા
હેલો.
સર.
હા થઈ ગયું.
યસ સર.
Have you taken
બહુ
the
એટલું ક્લિયર
screenshot?
નથી થયું બટ યસ સર આઈ હેવ ટેકન ઇટ બટ લિટલ બિટ બ્લર.
Still it is blur.
યસ સર.
What do you want to do? Continue or you want to wait for 2
But-
minutes? Hmm? Ritan sir? You want
Yes,
to
sir.
continue or you want to wait?
કન્ટિન્યુ સર.
Hello. Okay, I am continuing.
Your clarity. Otherwise, focus on screen.
Now, the next topic is SN1, SN2 mechanism. SN1 and SN2 mechanism. By taking an example of optically active compound. By taking an example of optically active compound, alkyl halide. Right? So this is your topic. Now, let us see what happens when you take optically active compound. We know that during SN2 mechanism, we have studied SN2 and SN1. During SN2 mechanism, the inverted product is obtained. And during SN1 mechanism, we get a racemic mixture. So that I have to explain you again because the topic is given. Again, with the help of a mechanism, SN1 and SN2. So first we will start with SN2 mechanism. SN2. So to explain you this SN2 mechanism, I will take an example of 2-bromo-octane. Two bromo-octane, right? The example will be like this. This is your carbon, CH3, another carbon. Then you know, total octane has 8 carbons. So 2 are already used up. So it will be C6, H double plus 1, C6H13. Here I will take bromine and here I will take hydrogen. So this is your minus 2 bromo 678 octane. So to explain SN2 mechanism by taking an optically active compound, is it optically active? Check it. The carbon attached with 4 different parts, CH3, Br, this hexyl group and H. So it is optically active. So to explain you with an example of optically active, I have taken 2-bromo-octane, right? And it is optically active. Now this 2-bromo-octane optically active compound will undergo reaction. I will react with NaOH, right? Na plus OH minus. Now you know SN2 mechanism, it is a substitution. So this is your nucleophile. So this will be substituted in place of Br. But what will happen if you try to substitute this OH from this side? This is electron donor. This is also electron donor. Both are nucleophiles, so repulsion will take place. So instead of going this way, the OH will attack from opposite side. From this side, OH will attack. And as a result, the configuration is inverted. So what type of compound you will get? You will get this type of compound. Right? This is an inverted product. Plus, you can write Br minus a NaBr. Right? If you take only OH, here you have to write only Br. If you take NaOH, you have to write it NaBr. So now you can see during SN2 mechanism, when it undergoes hydrolysis with NaOH, 2-bromo-octane, then here I told you, you get this compound, but it is inverted product. Inverted product. So this is the most important point. Why inverted product? You know, because if I try to bring the nucleophile from the same side to get the same product, to get the same configuration, then repulsion will take place. So product will not be stable. So this is important point. Now, second, I will take an example of SN1 mechanism. Now what will happen when you carry out SN1 mechanism? So that is most important point. In SN1 mechanism, you know, in SN1 mechanism, racemization takes place, right? Of product occurs. Means you will get dextro as well as levo. Let us see how you are getting this compound, right? For this, I'll take an example of butane 2-ol. For example, because it is a racemic mixture, the symbol should be like this. Butane 2-ol. Earlier we have taken this example. What will happen? This is your carbon. So one carbon is already there. Second. Now how many are left? 2. Third and fourth, I will write it combined. Means C2H5. Right? 2-ol. Here your OH group will be there. Or you can write it on this side also. No problems. You can write it anywhere. But first we'll see on which side your OH group is going, right? The same compound I can take in the middle. First of all, I will write a reaction only. Butane 2-ol. Preparation of butane 2-ol, not butane 2-ol, preparation of butane 2-ol. So for that I will take optically because our chapter is R bond X. So we have to take this R bond X example. Right? This is 2-bromo. 1, 2, 3, 4 butane. This 2-bromo butane, if it undergoes step 1 in SN1 reaction, then already we have discussed that SN1 reaction is a two-step reaction. First, slow step. In slow step, we get carbocation that you have studied, right? So you can write like this. You will get Ca3. You will get C2H5. I can write here H. You can write like this also H. And this is called carbocation. Plus Br minus. Already we have studied this. But now this will play an important role. So I will write this compound in the middle. Here I will write Ca3. Here I will write C2H5. Right? And here I will write H. And this positive charge, I will put it here. This will be your orbital where it is a positive charge, right? On this hole. So don't think that it is a low plus and minus. This is an orbital containing positive charge on the carbocation. So this is carbocation. Now what will happen? There are two possibilities. Right? Your OH can be attacked from this side. If OH attacks from this side and goes here means with this orbital, then what will be the product you are getting? You will get this product. Right? You will get this product. Right? In another way, if OH minus is attacking from opposite side, from here side, then what will happen? You will get this product. And you know, one is dextro, another will be levo, right? And you are getting a mixture. So as you are getting a mixture, during SN1 mechanism, we are getting a racemic mixture. So SN1 mechanism of optically active compound alkyl halide will lead to racemic mixture, and SN2 mechanism of optically active alkyl halide will lead to inverted product. So these 2 points you have to remember.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now next. So here your first topic is over. Okay. Now, here your first topic. I told you we have started chemical properties, and in chemical properties we have done nucleophilic substitution reaction. So all these topics were related to nucleophilic substitution reaction. Now, in the beginning we have written that it undergoes 3 types of reaction: nucleophilic, second was elimination, and third was reaction with metal. So now we will start the second one, elimination reaction. Now already you have studied this elimination reaction, beta elimination in 11th standard, right? But if you have forgotten, I will write the reaction again, right? I can write like this: CH3S, CH2H. then again CH2X. Now important point, carbon on which halogen is attached is called alpha carbon and adjacent to alpha is called beta carbon, right? So this is your ethyl halide. Ethyl halide. Halogen you can take chlorine, fluorine, bromine, iodine, right? So carbon on which halogen is attached, this carbon is called alpha, adjacent to alpha is called beta. When this reacts with alcoholic KOH solution, when it reacts with alcoholic KOH solution, then what will happen? This K will combine with X, right? And as a result, you will get a product called KX plus this H from beta carbon is also eliminated with OH and you will get water, right? So what is your product left? If these two are gone, then this bond will come here and you will get alkene, ethene, or you can say alkene in general word. So this is your elimination reaction. During elimination reaction, you have to remember you are going to get a corresponding alkene. If you take ethyl chloride, you will get ethene. If you take propyl chloride, you will get propene. But important point you have to remember is that carbon on which halogen is attached is called alpha carbon. Adjacent to alpha is called beta carbon. During this reaction of alkyl halide with alcoholic KOH, we get corresponding alkene, but simultaneously hydrogen from beta carbon is eliminated. So this reaction is called beta elimination reaction. Because hydrogen from beta carbon atom is eliminated. So this is an important point, beta elimination reaction. What is the another name of this reaction? You are eliminating hydrogen, you are eliminating halogen. So it is also called dehydrohalogenation. Dehydrohalogenation. D means removal of hydrogen and halogen. So it is also called dehydrohalogenation reaction. So you have to remember both the name, elimination, beta elimination and dehydrohalogenation reaction. Now what happens if your compound is having 2 beta hydrogen? So if 2 beta hydrogens are there, then you will get more than one product, more than one alkene, you will get 2 alkene. Then which will be the major product? So that was first observed by a scientist, Alexander, and he has given a rule, Sedzeff rule. So that we'll study. If, so note is important because they are asking this in the exam. If R bond X have 2 beta hydrogen, then more than one product will be obtained. Right? Now, which will be major product? Yeah, which product will be preferred? Depends on Sedzeff rule. Sedzeff rule given by Alexander. Zaitsev. And actually this Zaitsev is pronounced as Zaitsev. Right? It was observed first by that if a compound have 2 beta hydrogen, then you will get more than one alkene. That was being observed first by Alexander Zaitsev, right? And as it was observed by Alexander Zaitsev, the pronouns of Zaitsev is Zaitsev. That the rule is said to be Zaitsev rule. Now, what is Zaitsev rule? So that is important. Zaitsev rule. In dehydrohalogenation reaction. See, I am writing dehydrohalogenation, right? It is also called elimination. It is also called beta elimination. So, in dehydrohalogenation reaction, if there are 2 beta hydrogen, then more than one product will be obtained. Among them, more than one, that is among them, the alkene with more number of alkyl group attached. The alkene with more number of alkyl group attached is preferred as major product. So this you have to remember. In dehydrohalogenation reaction, if there are 2 beta hydrogen, then more than one product will be obtained. Among them, the alkene with more number of alkyl group is preferred as a major product. So this you have to remember. Now, for example, let me take an example so that you can understand. Two bromopentane, right? Carbon on which halogen is attached is called alpha carbon. Adjacent to alpha is called beta. So there are 2 beta hydrogen. These 2 beta hydrogen. Now let me write the product. I will get it 2. Suppose this is beta 1 and this is beta 2. Then what will happen? Let me write the product. Beta 1 elimination. If I write beta 1 elimination, I will get this product. CH3, CH2, CH2, Br from here will go with K and forms KBr, right? And H will go from here with OH and forms water. So I'll get this product here. CH, double bond, here double bond will be there. CH2, one H is gone from here, right? Okay, so this is one product. What is the name? Pent 1-ene, right? But if I remove Br from here, but H from here, with this OH, then water is lost, KBr is already lost, right? Then what will be the product? Just pay attention. I have removed H from here. So now it will be CH. Double bond, CH, because I have removed Br also, and then CH3. Pent 2-ene. Now out of these two, which is a major product? If you see the Sedzef rule says that alkene with more number of alkyl group is preferred. Alkene with more number of alkyl group means on either side of the double bond. Let us see. How many alkene here? This is 2H. It is not alkene, right? But this is alkene. Means alkyl group attached to C double bond C. Sorry, this is not C double bond C. This is your alkyl group attached to C double bond C. So here one alkyl and one alkyl, it is a minor product. Let me check this one. Along double bond, is it an alkyl group? Is it an alkyl group? Two alkyl groups are there, right? So two alkyl here. Along double bond. So this is a major product. This is a major product. So I'll write here. Major. So now you might have understood that what is Sedzef rule. According to Sedzef rule, if an alkyl halide have 2 beta hydrogen, then you will get more than one alkene product. The one which is having more alkyl group attached to C double bond C is preferred according to Sedzef rule. Clear? So this is the most important, and questions based on this topic are asked in the board exam as well as in your competitive examination.
Done, sir.
Yes?
Done.
Okay. Wait for 1 minute. Huh? Now, the third chemical property. Reaction with metal. The third chemical property, reaction with metal. Now what is the important point here? Reaction with metal. When C bond X, that is called alkyl halide, reacts with metal, we get C bond M bond X. We get C bond M bond X. This is carbon metal. This is carbon means organic and this is metal means metal, right? So we get C bond M bond X. M is your metal. So reacts with metal, we get C bond M bond X, which is called organometallic compound. You will get organometallic compound. Why organo? You can see here carbon is organic. So that carbon is attached with metal. So it is called organometallic compound. So this is the most important, right? And this type of compounds were first studied by Victor Grignard. This type of compounds were first studied by Victor Grignard, right? So it's an important point. In the year 1900, first studied by Victor Grignard in 1900, right? Now I'll take an example. When alkyl halide reacts with magnesium, right, in dry ether, so what I will get? This magnesium metal will come between these two. So we'll got RMgX, alkyl magnesium, X means halide. This alkyl magnesium halide is also called Grignard reagent. It is also called Grignard reagent. So alkyl halide when reacts with magnesium metal in dry ether, we get RMgX, alkyl magnesium halide, also known as Grignard reagent, right? So this you have to remember. Now this Grignard reagent further undergoes reaction. It further undergoes hydrolysis reaction, either in presence of water or you can say HX, right? Or you can react with base also. So now what you will get? You will get corresponding alkane or hydrocarbon. You will get R bond H, this one, R bond H from here or here. Then if you react with Mg, then you will get Mg, OH and your X, right? Oblique, if you react with HX, you will get Mg, X, which is called Mg, X2. So by reacting alkyl halide with metal, magnesium, in presence of dry ether, you are going to get alkyl magnesium halide called Grignard reagent, because it was first studied by Victor Grignard in the year 1900. Further on hydrolysis, you get corresponding hydrocarbons. I have written alkane because I have taken alkyl halide. But if I take aryl halide, it will be benzene. Let me take an example. For example, if I take ethyl chloride and react with magnesium in dry ether, then I told you magnesium will come here. You will get ethyl magnesium chloride, ethyl magnesium chloride. This ethyl magnesium chloride further undergoes hydrolysis. This time I will take water, right? So this H will come here. So I'll get ethane. Plus the bond breaks from here and OH will go with magnesium. So I will get Mg OH X. X means Cl. See, right? Same way you can take another example. If you take chlorobenzene and react with magnesium in dry ether, again same. Right? This is called in short Grignard reagent. This undergoes hydrolysis. Let me take HCl, HX. So the bond breaks. Cl will go with Mg and H will go with this benzene ring. So I will get here benzene plus MgClCl, which is equal to MgCl2. So these are most important, right?
Done, sir.
Okay. Now here, you can take reaction with water, you can carry out reaction with HX, right? You can carry out reaction with amines also. So that important point you have to remember. Water, even water, alcohol, amines, you can take alcohol or amines. All these are sufficient. All these are sufficient, right? Sufficiently, you can say, acidic to convert the corresponding hydrocarbon. To convert so this is the most important point you have to remember. Hiten sir, take screenshot again.
Done, sir.
Okay. Now, this was the reaction with magnesium metal and it is called Grignard reaction, right? Second example is also there. Reaction with sodium under the same heading. Reaction with sodium metal. Or it is also said to be Wood's reaction. It is also said to be Wood's reaction. Already you have studied this in 11th standard, right? this method is used to prepare alkane with double number of carbon atoms. So this is important point. This method is used to prepare alkane with double number of carbon atom compared to parent R bond X. For example, if you take 2 R bond X and reacts with sodium, 2 sodium metal. Now you all know sodium is explosive in air and water, right? Sodium is explosive in air and water. So there should not be any moisture, right? So you have to take dry ether here. So why the dry ether is used? To protect the reaction or to protect the explosion of sodium metal in moisture. So 2 alkyl halide reacts with 2 moles of sodium. We get R bond R plus 2 times Na. This 2 times Na will combine with 2 times X and we get 2 NaX. So this is alkane with double number of carbon atom, right? This is alkyl halide. Let me take an example. If you take methyl chloride and react with 2 moles of sodium in dry ether, then what will happen? You will get 2CH3. Ethane plus 2Na combines with 2Cl. 2Na combines with 2Cl. You will get 2NaCl, sodium chloride. Same way, methyl chloride will give you ethane. Right? First example. You can take another example also. Take ethyl chloride. And then react with 2 moles of sodium in dry ether. Right? So what you will get? 2 times CH3 CH2. 2 times. Butane plus 2 NaCl. 2 Na combined with 2 Cl. So ethyl chloride will give you butane. If you take propyl chloride, you will get 3 plus 3, 6 hexane. If you take butyl chloride, you will get octane. So that you have to remember. All examples will not be printed in your book, right? So this was about reaction with sodium metal called Wood's reaction. By this method, one can prepare alkane with double number of carbon atom compared to the parent R bond X. If you take methyl chloride, you will get ethane. If you take ethyl chloride, you will get butane. Okay.
Done, sir.
Okay. It's 5:45.
Yes,
Any
sir.
doubt? Ask them any doubt
No
and we
doubt.
can.
They are
So,
asking to
on-
stop.
Okay. Now, tomorrow we'll discuss about the reactions of haloarenes. This was about alkyl halide. Clear?
Let me answer.
Okay.